Good morning on Monday, the 11th week of Ordinary Time. We move on in First Kings to chapter 21. So, again, to get caught up with the story, on Saturday, Elijah was given the task of appointing a new king of Aram, a new king of Israel, and Elisha to succeed the prophet in his ministry. Now we get a story of showing even more of the wickedness of Jezebel, along with her husband King Ahab. This is going to be the moment where Ahab's dynasty is eventually and soon going to come to an end because of this incident. And so it deals with a person by the name of Naboth who owned a vineyard next to the palace of Ahab. And Ahab asked Naboth, okay, in a very just way, that he would buy the vineyard from Naboth because it was next to his palace. He wanted the land. But Naboth refused because the land was his ancestral heritage. Okay, so that's a big deal in the sense of like this possession that Naboth had was owned by his generations, his ancestors before him. So it was more than just the land. It was more than just a vineyard. This was like his legacy, okay, and his family's legacy. And so he said no. He refused. Ahab pretty much goes back to his palace and mopes and doesn't eat. And so Jezebel notices this and says, "Well, what's wrong?" And Ahab explained the whole situation, how Naboth wouldn't sell him the land to him. And then Jezebel really just accuses him of being a weak leader. And so she takes matters into her own hands. And so she prescribes this scheme where she sends a letter to the city that Naboth lives in, uh, where the letter states to the people of the city to proclaim a fast. Okay, now why? This is where I kind of got confused. Why proclaim a fast? Well, the idea is if a city fasted, it because something evil has happened. Okay, and in this case, really the evil thing is the unjust accusation of Naboth and the taking of his land. But in Jezebel's mind, the evil that is done is to hire these two scoundrels and to accuse Naboth of cursing God and King. So the fasting's part of the plan where when these two men accuse him, Naboth that is, of cursing God and King, that the people of the city will say, okay, well, that's the evil. That's why we're fasting, okay, because of the actions of Naboth. And so it eventually gets carried out, and Naboth is executed outside the city because of the false accusation, and Ahab takes care of the possession, okay, and this is how the first reading ends. Obviously, we'll pick up on this tomorrow. Um, but again, going back to my study on the seven deadly sins, I mean the one of avarice, okay, of desire and acquiring possessions, of how as I said, that type of sin is easy to fix. But if it's not fixed, it can lead to disastrous consequences. And in this case, the greed got so powerful that an innocent man was killed because of it. Okay, and this is the danger of being attached to material possessions. It really leads us to places, where we would never imagine ourselves be. This is how like good people or seem to be good people, honest, trustworthy people, get caught up in like embezzlement. Even happens in churches where, you have a very trustworthy, decent, kind-hearted person, and all of a sudden, the credit cards get piled up, or they have a gambling addiction, or they just again have this inordinate desire for wealth and material things, and they do things that they would never imagine that they would do. Steal from the church, steal, whatever it is. and so again, it's something that we have to watch out for, and be careful about. But more on Ahab and Jezebel and Elijah tomorrow. God bless you.